What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. This time I'm not alone. I got with me my dad, the MC Massadonking.
How y'all doing this evening?
And I wanted to bring him on the show because we have a lot to talk about with this, I guess you can call it polarizing response.
Or just very disappointing effort. Or truth. This could be something basically bringing out the truth about the artist Eminem.
Yeah, and we're talking specifically about his new album that came out this month, Revival. I guess I should have pushed my disappointing albums list back. But when I was doing my list, had to take a break from list a month as we wrap up 2017 to discuss this because, yeah, it's like he took everything you did not like about Eminem's last few projects and decided to make a whole album out of it. And I didn't like it.
But for me, and that was the part we were talking about, is that Eminem for a long time got over because of the shock value of his material. We already know. Haley, his mother, his baby mother, whatever, murdering, the drugs, but now he has none of that to rely on, and this shows in this album that it just has no substance, and that's just the truth.
Because it's like he was on drugs for relapse, and he went so kooky with the shock value that people were turned off, like, oh, this is bad. He even had to manufacture beef with Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon.
Which was pathetic. And then he backed out of Nick Cannon. Yeah, I just rewatched Vlad, and Nick was like, he was disappointed that he talked so much noise and then he ran away. And then, same, just like you were saying, in Encore, after we came off the Eminem show, which I like that album. That's one of my favorite albums from Eminem. But then when I got to Encore, and he was going over the top with the noises and the throwing up and, just being grotesque. And it kind of just let me know that really, without using the drugs, without the violence, he just has no true substance.
Like, at this point, doesn't he have as many... I was talking to somebody about that. It's like M has just as many bad albums as he has good albums.
It depends on how you look at it.
Because you got Infinite, the one that the underground thing that everybody talks about.
Yeah, everybody talks about Infinite, but he was basically trying to be Nas. All right, so basically it starts with me. My journey starts with the Shady LP, which I believe is a fantastic album, but it was still saturated with the violence. I was shocked.
Because I guess in that regard, there was. I don't think it was as heavy as Marshall Mathers.
You mean?
Because it was like the shock value was there, but it was also like songs like Rock Bottom, and then the songs he had with Royce, and it's kind of like a good, if you didn't want the shock value stuff, it was at least a good portion of the album that you could listen to that was him spitting.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
But then, I feel like, because of the controversial songs that were there, he doubled down on it, on the Marshall Mathers LP.
Because people wanted more of it. Yeah, they wanted more of it, and then he came, and then that's when we started seeing the chink in the armor. Because basically everything that was a hit, even Stan, which everybody loves the song.
I love that song.
Yeah, everybody loves that song, but it's basically about people who picked up his concepts of being Eminem and what that was about, which was the violence and the killing of his, and then he said this is somebody that repeated it, and that's what made it theatrical, but we're still relying on the same concept, just over and over.
I do think he did scale it back a little bit. It got more kind of like the hokey stuff with the Eminem show, and I think that album was a little bit like underrated.
Well, true.
Think about, because everybody talks about Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, but other than the songs that I guess people were, that got radio hits and stuff like that came from Eminem, I don't think people talk about that album enough.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, what we were relying on then is that we were looking at his attacks on the boy bands and what they call the female singers. I'm sorry, what was the term? Or just the female pop singers.
The pop singers.
So basically, between those two attacks, once again it's a gimmick. I loved it and I enjoyed it. Like I said, the Eminem show is one of my favorite albums that he put out because it was just the high energy, the comedy was there, and he was hitting all the points. And of course, Dr. Dre's production, whenever he touches with Eminem, he brings out the best of any artist, really.
Yeah, and I think once, because, you know, we already talked about Encore and Relapse that were kind of like the, I guess you could say when it kind of got out of hand, it got to the point where it wasn't as entertaining as it was before.
Exactly.
Shock value. So then, you know, Recovery, which was, I guess, him going in a different, more like a holistic direction.
That's the right way to put it. Holistic.
Yeah, he went from, you know, this guy, now he's trying to change, trying to get off this stuff, which Recovery did have its merit. I think it gets a worse rap than it's supposed to.
Well, because
I feel like it has its moments that I like, that people, when they saw the track list for Revival, they thought, oh, this is gonna be a terrible album because he has a song with Pink on it. And then, but you think about that album, it had the song with Rihanna, the Love the Way You Lie, which was a really great song. I like the song with him and Pink on that album. He was really spitting, like, you know, same Eminem, but I feel like he took it in a different direction.
That's true.
That was like really good. And there was a few tracks, but it was still like those other songs that were kind of like, all right, this real poppy kind of, all right, we get it. It's kind of like he was kind of beating you over the head with the message.
Basically.
And, you know, took the very pop route to do it, to kind of like, I guess, try to distance himself from
his previous content. And so that once again shows us now you're relying on the pop machine that you were attacking to still stay relevant. So I mean, I had already said it. I already seen the writing on the wall.
And yeah, okay, let's go track by track with this album. I don't remember all the songs by title, but the songs that really, like, I guess offended me, I guess, because it's not just that they were bad. It was just like they were offensively bad.
Yeah.
Like the song where he takes the "I Love Rock and Roll" sample.
I couldn't even make it through that song.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. And then I remember I posted on Facebook, and I just like let it be known, like, oh, this is not a good album. Like, let's just be honest, this is bad.
I mean,
and then people try to defend the terrible lines, like, your booty's heavy duty, like diarrhea. And they're like, yo, the song is supposed to be silly. It's supposed to be funny.
Oh, no, that wasn't funny, though. That's what I mean.
It was like humor that a 5-year-old would probably find funny. Barely find funny. And that, okay, let's compare that type of comedy to the Eminem show, which I'll go right back to that. The comedy on there was right on point. It was funny, even though he was attacking the boy bands and all of that, but his visuals and his videos matched up to the lyrics. They were, and the thing that made them so entertaining was the fact that they were such easy targets too. Like,
well, pop singers are always easy targets.
Like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC.
It was just
if we look back at that now, we cringe, but that's what people wanted it back then.
I could not understand the ladies' fascination with any of those groups. I was like, all right, you know, whatever, don't play around with me. But that back to the Eminem thing, it's just, and that's what it was. It's just, once again, even when he went on to bring on his crew, D12, we fell back into it. And I mean, to be honest,
I think that might have been like the first signs of it. Because these are the guys you're building around, you know, building your, like,
and if you're saying that better lyricists than Eminem, that's where I was going. Not what's his name? Bazaar?
Yeah, I think it was
Bazaar, whatever. Yeah, that was the Flavor Flav with the crew. But Conniva, Proof. I'm not really too much on Proof, but Conniva was a beast.
Yeah.
He was one of the best lyricists in the crew of D12, and then Obi Trice. Jesus Christ. When Obi Trice came out, that was the best thing that Eminem ever gave me, was introducing me to Obi Trice.
But and then the one thing that really, because it was like everybody's worst fears about this Revival album, it came true when they saw the track list. Because I remember when that was blowing up, like, that was all on the internet. Like, people, oh, he got a song with Ed Sheeran, he got a song with Pink, he's got a song with Alicia Keys, oh, this is going to be bad. And everybody's like, wait, you know, like, listen to the album. Even I was kind of like, you know, I'll give it a listen. Cause like he flipped on Recovery, like he flipped those features and actually made them pretty decent. I think the songs that I didn't like were the ones that it was him by himself and he really wasn't speaking about much. But I think the features, even with the pop ones, they were pretty good.
They were, well, except for Beyonce, that Walk on Water.
Well, yeah, with this album though, he didn't do a good job with flipping those. With flipping people. I mean, I was like, how do you make a Beyonce feature bad?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a milestone in itself. I heard the song, I heard the track, I was like, wow, how is Eminem going to pull this off? This is so just mellow and, you know, where is he going to find a place to put his energy into the song? And really, it was, to me, it was like, it was the thing. Once that was the lead single, it came out, I didn't want to hear this album. And that's the truth. I did not want to hear the album just from hearing that one song because I felt the rest would be that bad.
Because I was thinking, all right, this is a bad start.
I mean,
I said I'd give it a shot though, because it's like this might be the. And then who knows? It's like I've heard songs like the Future track, with the Future feature on NERD's album, and then like I'm still not a fan of it, but in the context of the album, it kind of fits a little bit more.
Yeah, but.
And then, so I'm thinking, all right, maybe I'm having the same thought about like M's album. Maybe this song will fit in, and then it might. I mean, I'm still not gonna like go for it. It's not gonna be like, oh, I gotta listen to that one. But when we context of the album, it might actually fit. But then you go to that's the first song on the album.
Yeah.
The second track is that song "Bleed," where he's like trying to flip a trap beat and try to do Eminem, and it's just not
Eminem
clicking.
Trap music.
It's it sounds so empty because it sounds like this is a song that you were supposed to do like your shock value stuff, and instead you gotta keep it PC, so now you have to find something else to rap about, and then it just sounds, every line, like there's no memorable lines on it. And I've listened to it a bunch of different times trying to figure out, all right, maybe there's something else there, but the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, I mean, and that might have been like one of the better songs on the album.
You said something just now I wanted to keep a point on. Do you think the PC culture destroyed this man's ability to make a good album?
I think so. Because Eminem went away for a while. And then he came back.
And then
some of the things that he used to say, he can't say that no more. It's not going to be met with just shock, but like intrigue. It's going to be met with just disgust and we got to get this man out of here. He's not going to have the same people rallying around him.
Well, they were attacking him then too,
but he
had more support at that time.
And then plus, you know, it's like it wasn't a thing that, I mean, you had the people that were fighting it, but you didn't have like everybody. It's like, and then you don't have social media where, like in 2000, where like everybody would have jumped on Eminem. Like
that is true.
And then because he was using the F word, about gay people. He was talking about raping women. I mean, you see how things are going. Yeah. Like now, like that would definitely not fly.
So it sounds like that there is an Eminem toolkit, and it has drugs in it, it has rape, it has murder, it has the disrespect of his mother in any way possible. It has the murder of his baby mother and his daughter watching it, and in this climate, he can't use any of those tools. There are no boy bands, or are there? Because I don't keep up.
I mean, it's not like the big explosion like it was. Like they weren't the ones. They're not the ones topping the charts. Yeah. Now. I mean, they still exist.
We run this hip hop #1 genre in the world.
So without those type of things to pull from, and then this is something because, like I said, like I call it polarizing just because I've had conversations with some diehard Eminem fans, and I've had some people tell me they just didn't like the album and they've been sticking with Eminem forever. Yeah. They didn't like this one. This is an album that actually might have turned away some hardcore fans of Eminem because I've heard the almost majority consensus is this is a bad album.
Well, I'm a hardcore Eminem fan.
Like Joe Budden and other people like that, like Crooked Eye and stuff. They've let it be known that this is not a good Eminem album.
And I think that every artist has that opportunity to make a bad album.
I mean, because I've said like Jay is one of my favorites, but Jay has also did some albums that was like Magna Carta Holy Grail was kind of like I had a feeling like maybe other than a few bright spots, I thought Jay might have lost it. Then he did 444, and it's just like okay. on the artistic side, I can see. But, you know, you got After Eminem Show, Encore,
no,
Relapse.
It was singles on the Relapse, wasn't it? Wasn't it singles?
No, I think Recovery is the one that had the singles.
The single, okay, yeah. So that had the singles that was working.
So Relapse, because Recovery gets a pass. You like the Eminem, Marshall Mathers too. Like you said, it had its moments.
It had its moments. It was basically after coming through Encore, going through, which one came first, Relapse or Recovery? Relapse. So Relapse was just terrible. Then coming into Recovery, and I mentioned that I was able to deal with Recovery a lot better because it was just better material. I guess overall it was better material. It wasn't the Eminem. Maybe it was the introduction to the new Eminem.
Yeah.
Okay. So that introduction, actually, I'm not mad at that album. Okay. Now between Recovery and Revival, and when you were talking about the Magna Carta with Jay-Z, where he had the terrible songs like You Try to Get with Rick Ross, try to do trap music. And some songs on there, people just didn't resonate, but I actually liked it. He screwed up a feature with Nas. How do you do that? How do you mess up a feature with Nas? Jesus Christ. Now, comparing those two albums, Magna Carta had its flaws. It did have a couple of songs that I would go back and listen to again. This Revival is just, I want it to be known as a bomb. It was just the worst
to go down as like one of his. This is his.
Not just him. One of the worst albums ever produced, as far as an artist at his caliber with his resources.
And it definitely doesn't help that it came out in a year where, like, you know, people from past and present generations have been putting out like stellar projects for the last 12 months, and then you come in
with this project, and I'm like,
Kendrick's album was good, Jay's album was good, Big Crit's album was good, Rhapsody's album was good, Run the Jewels was good,
and don't forget Nerd. Nerd is still in that conversation.
Who came out I think that was the same day. I think
they came out the same day.
Came out the same
and
day.
I've been rocking Nerd, and I have not gone back to Revival at all.
So it's like all this great hip hop comes out this year from the last 12 months, and then this album comes out, and it's actually the most heavily hyped, I think, out of everybody's album.
True. Maybe
Jay might have had more of an expectation going into it.
He surprised us.
Yeah. But I think the marketing campaign, I thought it was like clever with the kind of like doing it as like a pharmaceutical commercial.
Yeah.
It's like his part of the marketing thing, which I thought was dope. So I had like high expectations for this album, and then it just completely fell flat on its face. And everything sounds forced. Like everything on this album sounds like whatever agenda he has on these songs, he is trying to find something to fill the void of all the stuff that he used to rely on with his password, like Trump.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Trump, you know, basically this whole thing about him being I appreciate the sentiment and I appreciate the intent of a lot of the songs, but you know, the song, you know, he did with Alicia Keys, the songs where he's talking about his relationships and, you know, him being a father. I mean, I will say the last two songs on the album are actually like worth listening to. But this is after we've already heard
gone through
16
so much,
other terrible tracks. So it's like you get to the end and you actually find something that was good, and who knows, I might be listening to it like this is the best thing that I've heard on this album so far, so that's the only reason why I'm cutting for it.
Yeah.
It's like you sound like this is the I guess like this is the garbage next to the polished shit. It's like, oh man, you know,
if I'm starving that much, then I'll just eat it. I'm starving so bad that I'll eat that now.
Okay, there's nothing else here.
Then that's terrible. You should not. I would never think that I would have this type of conversation with him.
Yeah, especially this is somebody considered one of the greatest.
And that's the conversation. That why is Eminem not in the GOAT? And that's why even I'll take it back to, and I'm not going to go too far back, but I'll take it back when he was on the song with Jay-Z. And Jay-Z to me had this incredible reflective verse. You know, I still love just the fact he said, I got to the fork Renegade? Renegade. I got to the fork in the road and went straight. You know, but then Eminem comes in with a lot of theatrics about the, you know, the religions and all of that, and everybody went over there because of the theatrics. But I like the substance from Jay's verse. Mm-hmm. And if I go back now, I get more out of Jay's. It's the type of verse that's redeemable. Now, I'll go back to what you were saying. What Eminem is talking about in the album is actually very mature content. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, they decided to, after doing recovery and being successful with those musical frames, you know, this is a way we can put this content out for you in this way, more mature content. Mm-hmm. They did not go back to that as a blueprint, which would have been smart and improved on that blueprint. Mm-hmm. They went, I don't know what they were thinking. Literally, I have no idea.
This was definitely top 40 grab, a white audience grab. Ooh. Like, this is definitely not, it's kind of like, you already know for the, you know, because, you know, hip-hop loved Eminem in general. But you already know that his white fans are his ride or die. You know, those are the ones that are in my comments on Facebook that are defending this album to the end of time, and then everybody else is like, no, what you talking about? This is trash.
Yeah.
This was definitely like catering to that pop audience, that those people that are gonna listen to this album, because Pink's on there, Ed Sheeran's on there, Ambassadors, something that was on one of those songs. Like, those are like these big pop, you know, groups that are not really in the hip hop lane, but they're, and of course Beyonce resonates with everybody, so you see those features and then people are going to definitely like gravitate to them, you know, gravitate to those songs because they're on it, and because Eminem has already built up that, you know,
that he has the fan base. Mm-hmm. And he, you know, like I said, we shouldn't want a 5-star album from artists we like.
Oh yeah, that was something that we talked about. It's basically how we have this. You can't expect Jay to make a blueprint every time.
No.
Nas to make it Illmatic or a Stillmatic every time.
But
there's a certain level of quality that you know should be expected. To go from 60 to 0, and this is pretty much what, if you listen to Eminem's great work and then you listen to this is definitely a complete drop off.
Exactly. Now that's the part, is like even with Jay's catalog, even when the conversation about Nas being worst beat picker, which I don't agree with at all. You just didn't like the track.
Yeah.
People who understand him as a fan and know the different things that he can do and the great work that he's given us, I understand when he might try to do this and do that. And matter of fact, when he divorced Khaleesi, he put the album out.
I thought the album got way more hate than it should have.
Exactly, but this is kind of the same thing that Eminem is doing on this album. He was more mature, talking about strictly mature content.
But sonically, though, I was about to say Nas's Life is Good is actually sonically it's pleasing to the ears. I can't really get
with Eminem's project album. And that's what I was getting to, is that the production that was on Nas's album compared to this album, which they're both trying to seek a mature stance and as an artist. I just cannot believe. What was the song? What was the sample that he used? The I Love Rock and Roll. I cannot believe that song. I just can't believe you were mixing down your album.
That's another thing too that people say, like, it makes it sound bad.
Yeah.
Like, especially on that song with him and Fresher, the only rap feature, he's on the hook.
Did he lose a bet? Does he owe somebody some money?
It sound like I just want to put an album out.
Did Trump make him do it? I don't know. Somebody needs to explain to me how you can be this level of an artist where everybody's claiming he's the GOAT, and you heard this whole album and said, yes, I am behind this project.
So there's definitely no songs I'm coming back to on this one. I had to do an episode about this just because this was baffling to me. Like, I honestly can go ahead and give it to him. Like, this is probably the worst album I've heard all year.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it made me jump on camera because I had to be a part of this conversation. This is my first time on camera, Jack. I had to be a part of this conversation because I could not believe it. At the end of the day, I am still an Eminem fan.
Oh,
I will still check for anything that he puts out.
And if he puts out any future projects.
I'm right there.
You know, he kind of hints at the end of this album, it might be his last one. And if this is, I would hate for this to be the way he goes out.
Don't close the book like this. Please don't.
But I'll definitely check for it. But This is a bad album.
Yeah.
Bad album.
Very bad.
But that's been our time. I've been your boy Vinnie-Dangerous. This has been Massadonking. Tune in next week for the next episode. The top 10 best albums, or my favorite albums of 2017. And I'll see y'all in 2018 for season 3. Much love. Peace. We out.